Hi, this is Cindy Morgan, but you probably know me as Yori in Tron or Lacey Underall in Caddyshack. And you're listening to Mark Who 42.
Hi, everybody. This is Juan at Mark Who 42. Mark and Vicky are busy dealing with life, so got to do another show with some. But I got to pick somebody lovely to do the show with Haley Zapal from Hugo Girl, and we're going to be discussing the recently wrapped up Stranger Things. Hi, Haley. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
How's it cold up there in Georgia? I mean, to us, 50 is weird or 40 is weird, so I don't know how it is up over there.
I feel the same. It's going to be 12 this weekend, and I think it should be against the law. It's too cold.
Yeah, I know how you feel. That they said the same thing. In fact, that was the headline of the Sentinel, our local paper of record. So anyway, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things, which has been going on for quite a while. And I'm going to pull up my information in case we need to look up something.
Spoilers! Spoilers!
Actually, so wait a minute. Let's talk about how we got into it. I mean, I don't even know where I saw the first promotion of it. So where did you hook up with, or where did you get the interest? I mean, were you on board on the first day, or?
I think I was, just into Netflix as I've always been, and the 80s nostalgia, the kind of X-Files-y vibe sucked me in, and I got really into it right away.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I did. No, I mean, yeah, that is an important thing. I mean, unfortunately I'm older than you, and actually, the main characters, that was my graduating class, actually.
Oh, really? Wow. Oh, that's
Oh yeah.
cool.
Yeah, except I was disappointed. I thought I graduated in this will be funny, and this will be funny, and I hope I don't get in trouble from our producer. But I honestly thought for years that where we graduated was the same place that Jim Morrison from The Doors exposed himself. But then I found out it was the wrong auditorium. And boy,
Close
was
enough.
I down with that. Yeah, no, it was close enough. But no, I thought it was Dade County Auditorium, and it was a municipal, different name.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could relate to that. So let's get to the point about the plot of, I mean, we're not going to go into the detailed plot because God, it can get complicated, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can break down season five. It's to get Vecna or to stop Vecna. And I think that's what I mean, the thing is, I haven't, maybe you know this answer. I tried to look. Do you ever get the impression the Duffer Brothers figured out when they were going to end it? Because I think season three they should have had a plan, because that's the first season with a cliffhanger. Because season one and season two they could have ended the show because yeah, that's an ending, you know. But I think season three. But do you get an impression that when they figured out when they should end it or when the plan was?
So I just watched the documentary, like it's called like One More
Oh,
Battle or something, and they're like, we didn't even know what was going to happen at the end when they started filming it, which
oh
that's
God.
okay. I forgive. But that's a way for people that don't like the show to be like, wow, these jerks. But it's complicated, and they had a year to film, and they wanted to stick the landing, and it takes time. But I do think, and I wrote about this in my review at Nerds of the Feather, that like Vecna went from like this troubled man who's trying to get revenge to like just a Marvel Thanos type big bad.
No, I get that. But I think, well, I think you do want, I mean, unfortunately, I think you also pointed out in your view that you do get rising stakes as time goes on, and
Yeah. Well, and
it,
how I then defend it is that, like season five takes place over the course of like 2 days or something. So like there's only so much more exposition we need. Like a lot of people complain that the battle scene at the end was too short. I'm like, no, they spent 5 years getting to this point. That's okay.
but in the documentary, when they were talking about they didn't know at the end, were they talking about the end of the season five, or was it the end of the show in general? I mean, they didn't
I think
have
it's
a point.
both. Yeah, it's
Okay.
hard to tell. I mean, I think they didn't know exactly how it was all going to play out. I'm sure they had a rough idea. I mean, you can't get this much money and this much fandom with like being complete amateurs. So
Yeah, but I think the thing, I don't know if you were a fan of Babylon 5 like I was, but Joe Straczynski said, "Hey, I know this is where, he had a general, he knew where it was going to end, and he knew what had to happen in order to set up things. I mean, I saw that, and I felt that more shows need that. I felt Voyager needed that. I would have liked it more had it had that. And although I thought it all worked out. I mean, I was kind of happy with it. I think, having it more thought out, might have ended, the issues you had with the plot, or, being too stuff, or maybe they needed more episodes. I mean, to give it more room to
Yeah.
breathe.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I miss the days of the old Star Trek shows where there was 22 episodes in a season. You could do so much, and now it's like we get short seasons, and then the final seasons are broken up into big movie long things. So
yeah, but then you don't get weird episodes. I mean, even Babylon 5, which I was a big fan of, had like, these odd episodes, which was, uh, the bad episodes that you kind of remember at, whereas hopefully with a shorter time span, they can focus
yeah,
on
yeah.
more. But then again, we could talk about we might talk about this, but I think they did do a good job on character later on, but we can talk about that a little later. Um, but I see that you're wearing a W squawk, which actually that was one of the things I really no, I was really a big fan of over the air radio, and
Same,
I
same.
miss it, and I didn't realize that they actually did an internet radio station on it, and I miss it because I can't find it. I think they shut it down unless you know
It
something
was
I don't know.
it was really hard to find. I listened to it for about a month solid while I was working, and I loved it. First it was like on Global Player, and then it was on an English station, and it kept rising and disappearing, but I kept finding it, and it was all 80s music, which I love. And they had two disc jockeys. It was Mindy Flayer, which is an anagram of Mind Flayer, and then Vance something or other. But like, yeah, it was just so fun, and it was a really that helped me get so super obsessed. I always liked the other seasons, but I was rewatching season 4 in anticipation of 5, and then I got like super into it.
No, I could say that. I mean, I think they did a pretty good job explaining what had happened in season 4, with the breakup, because I think I only remembered it. I mean, again, I somehow missed the promotion. I just heard about it, and I remember, watching the first
Hmm.
season. I mean, watching the first season, and somehow I heard about it. I can't remember. It's not like, with a movie you can remember it's either a poster or maybe somebody's review, but it's just like, hey, check out Stranger Things. And I remember seeing it on the opening day. I just, remember because I had to have something done on the house on that day. And so, oh yeah, I heard about that show. So somehow I can't follow the dots to it.
Yeah.
Uh, so anyway, I mean, what do you think were the highlights of this year's plot, even though as stuffed as it was?
I liked, I mean, Will getting his powers, I think is like that's something that the Duffer Brothers said they wanted to do from the very beginning. And I think that one scene at the end of season at episode 4, it was just like that was like watching a Marvel movie in the best possible way for me.
Oh no, it's kind of weird now. Marvel is actually a genre onto itself, which is something
I know,
as a
I
comic book
know.
fan.
Yeah. But
No,
I also I enjoyed the Holly plot line of having more younger people in there, considering that all the kids are adults in it, but I like that a lot.
yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to defend them on that because unfortunately they had two pitches of bad luck. One,
Yeah,
unfortunately, between season 3 and 4, there was a global pandemic, which we all had to
absolutely.
deal with, and that ruined it. And also, unfortunately, they had after season 4, they had two important but righteous. Want to make that quite clear: righteous
Yeah,
strikes
absolutely.
that went on. So unfortunately, no, I think if you're going to do something with kids, and this is a problem with Lost, and they only had one child actor, if you're going to either plan out the thing that they're going to be growing up soon, or
Yeah.
film it back to back. I mean, I'm going to mention something which might make people when first Harry Potter movie came out. I think they were only up to book 4, if I remember it correctly, and I thought that
Oh
was a
yeah.
bad idea. Because, well, wait a minute, I think you should wait until all the books are out, and then you can film them back to back, and that would be more reasonable. But I think a friend of mine says no, they want to strike when the iron's hot,
Yeah.
and they don't want to take any chances to wait, for a certain person to get the books done. So,
That's
and I
true.
And the thing is, in the first 3 seasons, I think they were pretty close back to back, so you could get the aging. But yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think they were too. They were too. They looked too old. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I at least I think they didn't snap the suspenders of disbelief
Yeah, not
in
for
that
me. Not for
region.
me. Yeah,
But
and
that's
if you want to go into a show with good faith, I think you can forgive certain things. So
That's a good idea. I've never thought about it. If it's everybody's on good faith, but the thing that you brought, the reason that brought up is Holly, and that's why I'm wondering if they had a plan because obviously Holly, I'm not even clear what. I get the impression Holly is still in elementary school. I don't think she's in a middle school yet. And the thing is, did they plan to bring out Holly? That was always a plan, or it's like, oh hey, it's time to like you said, the characters are getting older, and is it time? Wait, we got younger sisters. We can pull them in and put them in the show. Because I think you also have, is it Erica? That's
oh
Lucas's
yeah, yeah, sister, yeah,
sister, although she's a little bit older than Holly.
yeah.
Or
Well,
is,
and it's funny. My girlfriend watched all the episodes in December after I'd watched them because she just knew how much I loved them, and she likes it, but she does not love it like I do. And she was just like, "Haley, I can't get over how they jumped like 6 years for Holly's age." And I was like, "Shh, don't worry about it."
oh, I didn't even know. I mean, Holly's age, it seemed like
She
pretty, I
was
mean,
young, young.
yeah, no, she was young to the point that, well, obviously you don't want, I thought she was kind of a toddler. And so I thought she was somewhere in elementary school.
That's what I thought
Uh,
too. But I think 11 or 12, again, if you can believe in a monster, you can believe in some age magic. So
well, the thing is, I actually got a little bit more conscience. I don't know. Do you know Ashley Eccleston?
the name sounds familiar.
Okay, no, this is a quick tangent, but my producer, doesn't mind tangents. So, no, the thing is, she explained something that I didn't realize until I didn't realize until recently. She was the voice of Ashoka Tano on the Clone Wars
Oh,
series,
cool.
but she explained that as an actress, she always wanted to work for Disney, but at 18, she kind of looked younger, so she was
Hmm.
able to get on some teen shows because they don't want to deal with, tutoring and limited
Yeah.
hours. So, and the fact that the Duffer Brothers wanted to do that on this show because I think they were underage. I think when the show started, at least in their
I think 11 or 12. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I thought okay. I thought they might have been a little bit older. So
No,
the
no,
fact that
they're pretty young. Yeah.
Netflix and the producers didn't mind, hey, they're kids and they got to treat them like kids, and because I think, oh no, expensive treat them like kids. Let's get some young-looking 18-year-olds. I mean, Smallville did the same thing. The
Every show does that. There was people on Dawson's Creek that were 30 playing 17-year-olds. So
I didn't notice. I only saw the early episodes of Dawson's Creek. It didn't grab me, so I didn't see it week to week. I did like the guy who played the other lead, and I forget his name because he was a co-star on Fringe, if I recall.
oh, Pacey
Yeah,
or
yeah, Pacey.
I forget his name. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty fairly common practice for people playing children to be a little bit older for the reasons you mentioned. You can work them harder. You don't have to have tutors on set, that kind of thing.
So the thing, and I love Holly's because the thing is, again, they were doing when we get the Holly story. I really like that part because when she finds Max, I don't know. Did you ever see? This might have been before your time, but it was my time. Did you ever see Land of the Lost?
Oh yeah, 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 with like the dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is that where Max was hiding
Oh
in.
yeah, it was like very brown and yeah, I know what you mean. Like the setting.
Yeah, no, that's the cave. Well, no, that looks like the outside looks like their cave. Now, the inside does not look like their cave because they were on a 1970s budget, and
Oh
it was a small set. No, it was a small set.
yeah.
A couple of beds and a table and stuff like that. It wasn't as big with all the clutter that Max had in her thing, which was great. I was afraid. I was really fond of the Max character when she came on.
Same.
We'll talk about that later. So and and I like that, Holly was taking this a very aggressive approach, trying to figure out and how to stop Vecna. And, Max is kind of guiding her. I like how that light. I don't know who Kate Bush. I don't know who Kate
Kate
Bush is.
I don't have a Kate Bush. Yeah. Well,
And
she's Holly the heroic, and that scene with Mike giving her the little piece is just so sweet.
yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, I don't know if we're again getting ahead of ourselves. I think the relationships are another crucial thing about. about this show. And I as I said, that even though it's plot heavy as it was, um, I think they balance it out with the relationship. I will talk about one thing I don't like, and actually, this is something I'm wondering if it's just because of my job. I really wish they had not shown the government to be completely inept in handling the situation, because it almost feels like, and you please correct me if I'm wrong, it almost seems like the Reagan, oh, don't trust the government when they say they're going to help you, or stuff like that, or obviously we want our heroes to do well, but I don't know, they could have used maybe some help, some
Yeah.
backup instead of handling it on their own. I mean, obviously they had done a bunch of these raids. I mean, the story opens up with these what do they call them? These crawls
Yeah, yeah,
into
the
the
Carls, yeah.
upside down to try to find where Vecna was, and then obviously, and they've been doing so many of these and nothing had happened. And now, the whole thing which starts uh this season is a crawl that's gone wrong, and everything that can possibly go wrong does go wrong, but also it starts pointing them in the direction of how to eventually defeat Vecna and what is really going on, which is very complicated. Actually, where did you find in Nerds of the Feather? I like your diagram of the
Oh,
upside down. Where did you find that? I love it.
honest, no, it's so cool. Honestly, my Instagram feed and TikTok feed became nothing but Stranger Things, and somebody had drawn out the diagram of like how the upside down is a tunnel, and it made so much more sense to my thinking of the show. It was great.
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. I wish I would. I might have postponed reading your reviews only because I know we were looking for a topic on this show. We're always looking for topics, so I don't want, maybe I want something fresh, and I don't want like something to contaminate. So I wanted, and I thought, but that is beautiful. I mean, it looks, if that's a fan drawing, it looks great. It's professionally done.
Yeah, I don't know who did it, and I'm sorry I can't cite the artist, but it's very cool.
Yeah, check out Nerds of a Feather, and just do a search for Stranger Things reviews, and you'll see the diagram of the relationship between the Upside Down, the Abyss, and
And Hawkins,
Hawkins.
yeah, and like how so that was one plot hole that I didn't quite understand is that they're doing all these crawls trying to find Vecna, and I guess they stuck to Hawkins, but because there was the flesh wall all around Hawkins, like they couldn't have gone past it.
Yeah, no, that was a fun part of their investigation.
Yeah,
The flesh wall, and also sticking Steve's car. Yeah, yeah, it was his
yeah,
car into it. Was just it, it, it was. Yeah, I mean, the Upside Down is a creepy place. I like, I mean, how the lights are turned down, and it's just
yeah.
like this.
The tentacles.
Oh yeah, oh man, I am surprised they got to do what they did with those kids, because when they get captured by Vecna, it's like,
It's so gross.
well, no, it's not gross, but unfortunately, we're bad older people, and we have dirty minds, and it looks like something else, and it's like,
That's
oh
true.
my God, and maybe that is to create maximum terror, because I we're both single with no children, so, and do you have any friends? I haven't talked to anybody with parents who are parents, and how they felt about, if child, when you see kids doing stuff like this, it's weirder, because it's like, I don't want my kids, endangering their lives like this.
I have talked to some friends that shows about fatherhood or motherhood or kids in danger definitely hit differently, and it makes them feel very uncomfortable.
And speaking about parenthood, I mean, I did like your take on your review about Karen Wheeler, who really,
Oh, I love her.
I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think she got anything big to do. I mean, Mike's parents, I mean, they make it sure, at least the father show, because he's got a Reagan Bush
Yeah.
84 sign on the end. So it's like, and he's, and the way he's been personified. So, and I forgot if Karen got to do anything big besides being the background.
No, I mean that's what was so fantastic about her really leaning into being like a badass mom, when she breaks the wine bottle, has never even seen a Demogorgon, doesn't know what they are, but she still stands between her and her daughter, and it's awesome.
Yeah. But then again, that explains where Nancy gets it from, and
Exactly, yeah.
and I like how Nancy, and we'll talk about that later. Development of Nancy as the leader of or a leader of taking the offensive against Victor, taking a significant part in the crawls.
He always has a gun, and I love that. Like this prissy, popular girl just can shoot.
I know she was prissy, but I think even in the first season there was something more about her. Or, I think
She's tough. Yeah.
yeah, she's tough. I mean, yeah, maybe it's her relation with Barb, which everybody wants justice for, but we never got. There was something
Yeah.
about her which said, "Hey, yeah, she's kind of a popular girl," but I don't know I can't put it on it what made her popular.
I mean, I think she's
No, excuse,
attractive.
no,
Yeah.
no, not popular. Excuse
Yeah.
me. What made her?
Yeah.
It's like why we didn't dismiss her and why it didn't
Yeah.
surprise me when she got hero potential.
I think
And
she's thoughtful and she had a conscience. And, a lot of popular girls in 80s movies are just like these vapid cheerleader types. And there's always something more to Nancy, I think.
anything else that sticks to you about the plot?
Um, no, I mean, I think the plot is very straightforward, and I think some people don't like that. But again, they set up 4 seasons of ideas to get here. Now it's them executing it pretty quickly, and then, I mean, half of the final episode is just character resolution, which I loved. But if you don't love these characters, like my girlfriend was like, "Oh my God, there's still 45 minutes left," and I was like, "Yes, and we get to see them graduate from high school." So,
Well, I mean, the thing is, it didn't. I mean, I did like the character, so that didn't bother me. I had no problem. It's like people complain. I mean, they say it's the Lord of the Rings problem because they had so many endings. But the thing is, if you read the book, well, that's not the ending, and
yeah,
that didn't bother me. I know when
yeah,
in fact, with Lord of the Rings, I'm surprised they went that far. To it's when Sam gets back to gets back to his wife, and that's the end because they made an animated version a long time ago, and they ended it when they sail off, or at
hmm
least that's how I remember when they sail off to the western lands. So yeah, no, I mean, I think it was well paid. I I think it was well paced. I mean, things are constantly happening. I mean, I don't remember checking my clock, so I think it.
yeah. Oh, one question that I don't quite understand, and this kind of goes to the Thanosization of Vecna. I was like, he wants to combine worlds, but I never quite understood what that means. What that would mean for the world? Would people die? Would he be a leader? I think that was confusing for sure. But
Well, I think unfortunately with your typical megalomaniacs, and if you're a Doctor Who fan, you see a lot of them in the classic series. They just want to, it's like everybody rules the world. I'm surprised they didn't buy that song to use it
yeah,
for it. I
that would
mean,
be cool. Yeah.
yeah, he's an autocrat. I mean, the only thing in the plot that doesn't explain is, or maybe you understood it as the encounter, when he was a Boy Scout in
Oh,
that cave with
yeah.
that guy. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna, because I know there are a couple of spin-offs in mind, so I don't know if they're gonna go into that because I'm not. One of the things I'm not clear about is when we go into Vecna's past and we see a teenage Joyce. I don't know how old Joyce is supposed to be on the main
Yeah.
show.
I think
So,
I think that's another discrepancy is like I think Vecna is around the same age as Hop and Joyce. And I think so there was a play on Broadway called Stranger Things The First Shadow that kind of apparently is canon information about Vecna's past that like why is that not in the show?
well, hey, I'm glad they did a stage show. I wish I'd toured.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
don't know
still
how.
on Broadway I think for a couple more weeks, but yeah, apparently that has super duper information about what Henry's past was in the high school, and Joyce is in the play, and young Henry's in the play. But it's wild that they made that canon information so inaccessible.
Oh yeah, but they also got some books which we might talk about a little bit on the next half. So we're gonna be back. We're gonna try to focus more on the characters if we didn't use it up all night and talk about, what we felt about the ending and where they're possibly going. So we'll catch up on the second half of Mark Who 42.
Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Mark Who 42 after this.
Toycast is back. We are talking toys once more here on the Geekcast Radio Network's Toy and Action Figure podcast. From breaking into the display case to our toy topic talk and the brand new Origins in Toy collections, where we get guests to tell us their toy story of how they got into toy collecting. Toycast is the only toy podcast you will ever need. Find us on geekcastradio.com and any podcatching client you choose to use. Now go forth, transform and transcend your toy collecting today while listening to Toycast.
Get ready for the ultimate geek experience right here in the Sunshine State. Florida Geek Scene presents a full calendar of events and conventions. From anime to horror, we've got it all. Meet your favorite stars, find rare collectibles, and immerse yourself in your passions. Experience the thrill of cosplay and witness amazing live performances. Stay up to date with the latest news and reviews all across Florida. Florida Geek Scene, where pop culture happens. Visit us online for more. Don't miss out on the fun. Join us at Florida Geek Scene, floridageekscene.com.
You are listening to Mark Who 42's Universe.
Spoilers! Spoilers!
Hello, and we're back on Mark Who 42, and I'm with Haley Zapal from Hugo Girl, and we're going to continue our discussion of Stranger Things, and we're going to try to focus on characters a little bit more. We dabbled a bit with some of the characters. I mean, I always was found on the main cast. I mean, I wasn't as lucky. I didn't get into D&D, so I didn't have my D&D buds when I was young, and unfortunately, I think I was in a very, at least this is my memory, and maybe I'm exaggerating it. It was I didn't get to see my geek friends until until the local science fiction convention, so it was kind of on my own most of the time. But I did like the relationship between our core characters, the boys. I mean, it seemed like, yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of it, but not as much as them, and obviously didn't have a D&D team.
Yeah,
What's your
no,
take
I mean,
on it?
I'm so jealous. I didn't get to have that. I was kind of a shy kid, and I was an only child in the neighborhood with not a lot of kids. So to be able to have, like, they all meet at the Wheeler house, and that was like their go-to basement. That is what it's just a precious thing to get to witness and to watch them grow up, because they were all friends too, which I think is really cool. It's like not just on the show. It seemed like they actually really liked each other.
Oh yeah, I mean, the chemistry was just perfect, and it seemed to play off each other. And then also the relationship with the older kids. I mean, I forget Nancy, Steve, and I forget you had Barb in the first
Robin.
scene. Oh, and
Yeah.
Robin. Oh, here's another tangent. Have you caught Maya Hawke and Other Things?
I'm trying to think. I know I have, but this is the show where I discovered her and fell in love with her. She's amazing in this.
Oh yeah, same here. But I have seen her in other things. Like she played one of Leonard Bernstein's well, maybe the daughter. I forget I forget his children, but she was in Maestro.
Oh yeah. She was with her dad in a movie about Flannery O'Connor or something.
Oh,
or
you
Trust
saw
McCullers.
that?
Yeah.
No,
No,
we
I
saw-
didn't. But I heard about it. I
I
want
got
to
to
see
see it, and it was at the Florida Film Festival.
Yeah.
She was dynamite in that. She was playing Flannery. Not only was she playing Flannery O'Connor, who is a great writer of her time, but also she was suffering from lupus, so she had to move in with her Southern family because she's a Southern Catholic, and her family were not necessarily the most enlightened people in the world, so she had to deal with that. And Maya, but the thing is also Maya played the characters. They would do scenes from Flannery's stories, and she would play
cool.
characters in that. So
I got to see that. Yeah.
she's got range. Yeah, unfortunately, it played at the Florida Film Festival, so I don't know how much of a range that got in. On another tangent, that theater that our friend Lori talks about, which she goes to, the Independent Theater, does that have a film festival associated with it?
Yeah, there's the Atlanta Film Festival that plays at we have two repertory indie theaters in Atlanta. Or technically three. We've got the Plaza Theater, which is an old theater on Ponce. We have the Terra Theater, and then we have the Landmark Art Cinema, and they get a fair amount of good stuff. Like that's where you go. And then right across the street from the Plaza is Videodrome, one of the last really cool video rental stores, DVDs in the country. So.
Oh, and that brought something up. Did you get to see the final episode in the theater, or did you just watch it at home?
It was New Year's Eve when I was traveling, so actually we had to go to bed early because I was flying to Boston that morning, so I watched it on the plane at like 6 a.m. on the Delta flight to Boston, just like crying my eyes out.
Oh, okay. No, I tried to see it in the theater, but it was
I wanted
completely
to.
booked.
Yeah.
They should have had a longer thing. I mean, they must have made a little bank on
Yeah, they
that
could have
because
staggered at like 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m. to have more options. Yeah, I really wanted to, but the holidays I couldn't.
oh no, it sounds fun. And again, another experiment in the form and maybe well, no, I mean Netflix only when they do movies. I mean, I'm probably gonna see a Netflix dominated film because a podcast is talking about it and I'll see it right now, but I think one of the people afraid of this merger deal with Warner Brothers is does that mean that Warner Brothers movies won't be in the theater anymore? So the
Yeah,
fact that
no,
they did that, the fact that they put it up in the theater, that might be a good sign or to like calm people down.
yeah, I hope so. I'm a big believer in. I probably go to the physical movie theater twice a month, so
I go in spurts. That's the funny.
it
No,
depends
because
on what's playing. Yeah.
I think between Oscar season and the summer, there's like blanks. One of the things I want to talk about, I mean, also the minor characters. I mean, we can get back to the major characters, but I Murray was very irritating to me, and I just wanted to. I mean, he was interesting, but sometimes I just wanted to strangle him. Mr. Clark, who has a life, he's a smart guy. He's your classical nerd, but he also seems to be having a life and a social life to begin with,
Yeah.
and of course, Murray has a horrible, miserable conspiracy theory life that he has to mock the guy.
I know. Well, Murray kind of turned into a caricature of himself this season. All he did was supply goods and make fun of Mr. Clark. But in the other seasons, he's like more contributing to the plot, or he's doing his karate. But he definitely was on the sidelines this season, I think.
Well, yeah, I know he was critical in rescuing Hopper from
Yeah.
the Soviet Union, but at the same time, I thought that how they filmed that sequence was perfect because you
That
got
was awesome.
Joyce's frustration of how, Murray was not getting to the point
Yeah.
of it. Getting back to character, I was always a big fan of Winona Ryder, and I'm glad that she got this. I think she killed it
Oh,
in
she's so
this
great.
role.
I just like watching her become like she's so meek in the first season, but she grows stronger and stronger. And then having her do like the literal hacking off Vecta's head 11 times was just like the perfect ending to the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did have that. No, that was the ending battle sequence of, them all going in there and working as a team,
Yeah.
coordinating. Perfect. Just, perfect execution.
No notes.
Yeah, no notes on that. It was actually kind of weird. There was a local convention here, Spooky Empire, which I think has ambitions. But one year in 2017, I think they got the whole cast except for Winona. In fact, I was so annoyed with them. I was only annoyed because they didn't invite the Duffer Brothers, and I wrote them an email saying, "Hey, it's great that you got the whole cast except Winona." I always made that joke because Winona was that was the big hole in it. But I said, "Hey, how come you didn't invite the Duffer Brothers?" And they actually sent me an email back saying, "Well, why don't you invite the Duffer Brothers?" And I was, no, and what I did was, so I found the official. This is at the time when Twitter was fun and nice and not
Yeah.
the hellish hellscape that it is right now. I went there and I typed up. I found their thing and it goes, "Hey, Duffer Brothers, why don't you join your cast here in Florida, and for Spooky Empire?" And actually, I got a like from the Spooky Empire
No.
Twitter. So unfortunately, no, it didn't come up. But I'm wondering maybe they were working on scripts. I don't know about that. But
Yeah, they're busy.
so I never thought Joyce was weak. I mean, I felt she was overwhelmed. I mean, single mom trying to raise
Yeah.
two kids, and one of them, I am I incorrect? And Jonathan was a little bit of a problem kid, or he just wasn't. She's got to focus on them, and then she has to go through the trauma of having Will
Yeah.
go missing for the first season.
And then a fake funeral. I mean, to me, it's maybe because she just seems so tiny. I mean, she's like 5 feet tall, but she has an incredible power of character, I think. And I think she carries that first season. Like nothing would be here if it wasn't for Joyce in season 1.
And then I guess we can talk about how we compliment with Jim Hopper, who at first seems well. Tim, you get the opinion that he's also overwhelmed, but in a different way. I mean, we don't. I don't even know if we know his pain in the first season, or that doesn't come up until the second season when he's raising Elle.
Yeah. With his daughter. Yeah. No, it's true. And Hopper Hopper's one of my favorites too. I mean, he's comic relief, but also like a grounding force. I'm actually kind of sad that he wasn't more part of the big plot in the final season. Like he kind of just hangs out.
I disagree. I thought he was taking point. I mean, he was making sure that, and he's asked to do the thing about how far to stay back and not, let Elle do her thing.
Yeah.
And, trying to be a good father, but at the same time he's uh really concerned, obviously really concerned. Again, the whole thing about do we want our children to do these incredibly insane, deranged things.
That's true.
Let's move on to Elle herself. I mean, she blossomed into this popular character, and I don't know if you saw this at DragonCon, but at MegaCon, which is our local big comic convention, tons of girls dressed up as Elle, after the first season.
Oh my God,
came
girls
out.
and boys and grown men. Everyone was wearing like the hospital gown and the bloody nose
Yeah.
and the blue jacket.
I guess we could talk about the complimenting. I mean, you talked about Max being your most popular character. I mean, I kind of obviously it's an interesting way because they shouldn't compliment each other because, Max is this worldly, character, she's been to, she's from California.
Yeah.
She's been around and,
she's tough.
she's tough. And then, Elle is tough in her own way, obviously.
Yeah.
And, but, there's this quiet way. I mean, when they first meet, Elle is very, quiet around her and almost dismissive.
Oh, she's really jealous too when she thinks that she's got a crush on Mike and that's her guy. But then season 3, they become besties. And I love that. The whole like shopping montage at the Gap and the 80s mall is just perfect.
Oh yeah. I couldn't wait. And I saw it. I think I burned through it the whole morning. I mean,
it's so good.
Yeah, actually, they say that Gen Z might be bringing back the mall, so that was kind of a surprise, or at least that's what Lewis Black said on the Daily Show.
I think kids deserve a place to go and just hang out, but I think most kids hang out online these days.
Oh yeah, no. Well, the sad thing is I would just go to the mall by myself and take a look at what was coming out at the Barnes and Noble or whatever bookstore.
Yeah, me and my friends hung out at Barnes & Noble because that was the only place in Savannah, Georgia, open till 11 o'clock on a weeknight.
No, when I came to Orlando, I think the local Barnes & Noble was open till 11, so I thought that was a new thing.
It was definitely doing it in 1999, so.
Yeah, okay, cool. Getting back to the characters, again, Nancy evolving as a leader. I mean, and it kind of and particularly in this season, we see Karen, taking direct action, fighting the monsters even without, knowledge of it. In fact, there's a Nancy dedicated novel. I think she and
yeah, I heard about it. I heard it was really good, actually.
She and Robin are investigating it, but I just haven't. I was surprised they have a dozen novels out there. No, actually 9. I think I counted 9.
I stopped at a Books A Million on the way home from Christmas break south of Atlanta, and I almost bought it, but like it was a hardcover, it was $30. I was like, do I want to get a 200-page book for $30? And so I looked on my library app, and there's like a million week wait for it, but I really want to read.
Oh yeah, no, I got to take a. Well, I usually look at Locus. I haven't been checking their bestsellers, so I don't know how they've been doing with those sales on the book.
Yeah, I did listen. There's an audiobook. I was listening on Spotify about Robin having dialogues with her teacher. It's called like Rebel Robin, and it's cute because Maya Hawke actually narrates it. So if you like Maya Hawke, it's fun just to hear more input into like what Robin was thinking about in high school. It's cool.
To be honest, I kind of respected Steve and working at Scoops Ahoy because hey man, that's a job. I mean, you need your income.
Yeah, well, that's one thing about Steve and Robin are always going to be employed, whether it's Scoops Ahoy, the video store, or the radio station.
Well, the radio station. That was one thing that confused me about season 4. Was Hawkins completely cordoned off from the rest of the world? Nobody could leave and nobody could go in without government permission?
Yeah. I think so. They say in one throwaway line that like Jimmy Fast Hands Lee leaves the radio station, the disc jockey. So I think the kids just kind of like commandeer it. So I don't think they're getting paid, but they are working.
Oh yeah, and I know, and I love the whole thing. I actually I have a friend who also grew up in a small town in Indiana, and I asked her, she came by to visit. I go, hey, she didn't watch the show. Did you guys have your own radio station? She goes, yeah, we had a local radio station. She went to Connorsville, although they didn't have their own PBS station, so that's why the characters aren't Doctor Who fans. I always remember she told me, no, I didn't grow up on Sesame Street because we didn't have a powerful PBS station where they were at. And she thought the Muppets were obnoxious, so the Muppet Show was obnoxious. So aside from doing a puppet show, she never got into the Muppets.
Well, she's missing out.
Oh yeah, I tell her that all the time.
I mean, there's that one episode of The Muppet Show from 1980 or something with Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. It's so cute.
Oh God, no, that was a fun episode. I always liked also the use of retro technology. I mean, what they had before
The
the internet, the
Walkmans. Yeah.
walkie-talkies, and also
Yep.
how they figured out how to try to track Vecna using, I mean, that scene where they had to get the teacher to figure out how to solve the problem and
Oh,
using the
they
balloons.
the telemetry stuff. Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
I think to the best of my knowledge, I mean, there wasn't anything, at least that I knew, that was a howler science-wise. So
Nah, same.
I think it was strong in that way. Anything else you want to talk about? Any characters that you want to talk about that I haven't mentioned yet or we haven't mentioned yet?
Um, when Vecna is as Henry, when he's got his glasses, I liked them so much that I went out and got a pair of circular turtle frame glasses.
Is
That's
it
how
is
much of a
that
nerd I am.
no, is that is that a cosplay plan for Dragon Con
Po-
this year?
Possibly. That's not a bad idea because I was looking, my mom is so funny. She hasn't watched the show in years, but I was pausing it because I was watching it on Christmas Day because that's when the second part came
Right.
out. And there's a picture of um it's uh it's like Henry in his glasses, and my mom is like, Haley, is that you? And I was like, no, he just has blonde hair and is, kind of skinny or whatever. But I was like, oh, I like these glasses. That's a good idea. So yes, maybe. Because the best cosplay is you have to have somewhat of a resemblance. Like I couldn't cosplay Nancy Wheeler, but it all depends. So
You could get it. I could see you in a wig and doing Nancy.
yeah. She looks like Rambo with like the curly hair and the bandana and the green and the gun.
Well, I'm wondering now that you brought that up, I'm wondering because Cameron wrote the script for Rambo too, but uh maybe I wonder if they were shooting for Sigourney Weaver
Oh yeah.
with Nancy.
It does, yeah, that's same kind of vibe. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, one of the scenes that had great tension was at the end of the episode where Dustin realizes, he sees the diagram and he's trying to run, like, don't shoot,
That's her first instinct is to shoot something. I don't know how to be like, let's run away.
Well, unfortunately, when you've been dealing with these mind flayers, Vecna, and all these other creatures, unfortunately, I mean, that was the embarrassing part of that. When the army base was under attack,
Hmm.
they didn't think about using more heavy artillery when they realized the demi dogs,
Demodog, yeah, yeah.
yeah, were bulletproof and were immune to bullets, or at least retreat faster. I mean, it, it was just a harrowing bloodbath.
Yeah. You think they would have used more
Armor piercing
flamethrowers?
bullets.
Yeah, armor piercing, bazookas, that kind of thing. But like, yeah, these like, M16 bullets are not gonna cut it.
Yeah, so yeah, no, and actually all the action sequences I think were pretty good. I mean, there wasn't anything that again made me flinch. I mean, they were pretty well staged and everything, and including the use of. I mean, we haven't spoken about somebody who came back for this season, the Linda Hamilton, who's
Yeah, yeah.
essentially playing a villain because she wants to capture Elle. It's because of her, Elle has to leave the chessboard for good. Um,
Yeah.
and she's playing it perfect. I haven't seen anything I haven't seen her since she was playing Chuck's mother on that show.
Yeah, she technically, I think, retired from acting, and the Duffer Brothers were like, come on, one more time.
Oh, really? I didn't even hear about that. I mean,
I'm pretty sure, like, that's what I remember reading because she's got to be 70. And, some people just kind of like gracefully age out of the acting industry because they don't want to, get a million plastic surgeries. I love that Linda Hamilton still is beautiful. She looks her age and she's still tough as hell.
yeah, that's perfect. I mean, actually, I mean, the other guest star that comes to mind, and it's a darn shame that was Sean
Oh,
Astin,
yeah. R.I.P. Bob.
and no, I didn't realize that. Why do they keep showing when they were in the ups? I think it was no, when they're in downtown where the gate is. They
Yeah.
always kept showing to the Radio Shack, and I forgot until I was researching the show. He ran the Radio Shack.
Yeah, he was the tech nerd. Yep.
and
And now it's for the tunnels. Yep.
and he was very supportive. You didn't have to go through um the whole thing about oh, is this not true, that trying to disprove the reality of the situation, that he was willing to accept it and gave him the clue on how the tunnels worked.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I that was the thing that kind of annoyed me. I mean, some of the shows that they said they were complimenting, because I think you would always go through a time where you'd have to convince other people of whatever the reality you were facing at the time was real and not just an illusion of what was, or that, oh, that's not true. There's no monsters, and but no, I think
Yeah.
it
Well, it's
was
like when Robin explains to Vicky, she's like, I'm not on drugs. There really is an evil wizard and monsters. Yeah.
yeah, and they get the harsh reality. So
Yeah.
what other question? I guess the big question is, are we satisfied with the ending?
I am satisfied. I loved the long, sweet send off. And I love the final scene with, like, when they choose to believe whether or not Elle is dead. I think that's a brilliant way to end the show without, because it gives everybody what they want. Like, my girlfriend was like, girl, she dead. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's not dead. I believe.
Oh, I'm shocked that your girlfriend believes that Elle is dead. I mean, the thing is,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, again, if you love the show, you come in good faith. My girlfriend was just like, no, she can't live. And I was like, no, she has to live. I love her.
but they had to deal with that part because unfortunately, Lynn, one thing I'd like to do in the show, because unfortunately I'm such a geek, I don't know. This might interest you because you're a lawyer. I would like to see the Senate or congressional hearings of Hawkins,
Yeah.
of what happened in Hawkins, because um, since we talked about Linda Hamilton, we can talk about one of her exes. Uh, I always feel that the Avatar movie I want to see is everybody on Earth fighting for the Na'vi or
Yeah.
trying to help the Na'vi, because I just can't. One of the things I can't buy into, unfortunately, Avatar implies that Mark, this is related to the show, or it's related to Avatar, that that there must have been a Trump dynasty because Earth is so mean, mistreating these blue people.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to see I want the West Wing of every show. I mean, I want the West
Yeah.
Wing for Avatar, and I want the West Wing for this to investigate, and I want, and maybe and get to see Linda Hamilton's character get her comeuppance of trying to capture essentially an 18-year-old girl. Let's put that into perspective.
Yeah. And then, like, the evil government plan of, like, impregnating women or using pregnant women as experiments to create super warriors. Like, yeah, woof.
Oh God, I forgot about that. I forgot that was.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Dr. K's plan, or was that
Yeah.
the plan of? Was that the people who initially did the research, which
I think that's
produced
Dr. Clay's plan only. So I think the other Paul Reiser and the other guy, Matthew Modine, I think
Yeah.
I think they were in paragovernmental research, and then Dr. K was like a 2-star general doing some sort of black ops military experiment.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's unclear, like, all the steps, but yeah.
Yeah, so there is gonna be talk about, I think they're doing something set in 65 in the future, or they've got
Ooh.
some. Well, wait, I thought I saw a thing in let me pull it out, franchise, that they were going to.
I just heard about an 11 spinoff, so.
Well, that's kind of surprising because Millie Bobby Brown, I mean, I think she's, she really kind of exploded.
Yeah.
And
Literally
I mean
and figuratively.
Well, yeah, have you seen her? Have you seen her Enola things?
Yeah,
the
Enola
thing?
Gay. There was like a dragon princess movie I reviewed for Nerds of a Feather. That was cute. It was fine.
Oh, okay. No, well, she's Enola Holmes.
Yeah. Those are good.
Yeah, although I had to ask a friend of mine, I always, maybe I should put you in that circle of what I ask. Anytime I have a question of costumes, I call my costuming friends, or I should say fashion. I call my costuming friends, because I go, how come Enola is dressed like in the final battle in the second movie? She looks like what she's wearing on her top is a West Point uniform, because, well, no, they would have worn something like that in the Victorian era. That would have been appropriate, particularly if she's going for a fight. Yeah, no,
It just looks cool. Yeah.
yeah, forthcoming, it's Stranger Things Tale from '85, and they say it's in the works and it's green light and it's going to come out
Cool.
this year. And supposedly there was a teaser somewhere
Huh.
out there. And I missed it. I should have checked out the documentaries. I was being a bad podcaster, not checking out. I think unfortunately as the beginning, they showed it on the first of the year and I had that last weekend and I wanted to enjoy it before
Yeah.
we had to go to reality. I like there was somebody put on their Facebook how they feel on the first day of work, and it's a picture of Big Bird in a boardroom, and
No.
after you come back from your
Yeah.
Christmas break. I mean, is there any particular spinoff you would like to see? Or
I would watch anything with Robin, although Maya Hawke is 27 now, so probably not.
oh God, I thought she did a good job pulling off 18. Or
She did though. She did. And to be fair, in season 3 and 4, she was like 21, 23 or
oh yeah,
whatever.
no, she
Yeah.
is yeah, she is older because was she supposed to be in Nancy and Steve's class?
I think she's
Or
like 1 year younger than them. Unclear.
oh, and hey, is there anything more you want to say about what you want to see? Because I just realized there's something I do want to ask you, and I'd be irresponsible not to ask you.
I would watch anything Stranger Things branded, honestly. I got to drive down and things around Thanksgiving. I drove down to Jackson, Georgia, where they filmed where Hawkins is set, and I got to go on the tour of like the downtown and go into like this little immersive experience and see cars. It was very cool.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that's great. I mean, when I always see the Georgia Peach, I don't what part of it was filmed in Georgia, and
Almost
of
all of it.
anything. Okay.
Yeah, like parts of it were all of the cast lived in a little neighborhood called Cabbage Town, and they loved going to the record stores around here and the movie stores. So yeah, it was fun.
Let me ask you one thing. I feel irresponsible as an ally of asking you how LGBTQ you felt how it was portrayed on the show.
Okay, hot take. I think Will's coming out scene shouldn't have happened, and I think the
Okay.
conversation with Will, or the conversation Robin and Will had, was enough. I think the coming out scene was a little clunky. I still cried and I loved it, don't get me wrong, but that first part in this volume 1, when it's just him and Robin talking, I think that was so powerful. Because like you get to see, they're talking about it without saying that, concrete words like gay or whatever, and they keep it focused on themselves, and he can look up to her. But I saw the reaction online to Will's coming out scene, and I'm just like, should they have done this? I don't know. I mean, I think it was important for his character. They've been hinting at it for 5 seasons, but I just hate that like it's the lowest rated episode in the entire series, and that's bullshit. So
No, that's a shame. No, I thought it was handled. I thought it was handled well, but
yeah,
you
I mean, I
know,
thought it was completely fine. I just think that I think for I don't know. I wish that it was maybe shorter. Like SNL made fun of how long it was because it was like longer than the fight scene apparently. But I'm also a gay person, and I think that stuff is touching and it's important for the visibility. I think it had to happen, but I'm sad that more people didn't enjoy it. So
well, to be honest, I enjoyed it. I had
yeah.
no problem with it, and
Oh, same. Yeah.
so I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad they did that because unfortunately, as somebody who was that age in that era, and I I don't know of anybody coming out in my class. But then again,
Yeah,
they might have,
same. Yeah.
and they might have hidden it because supposedly in senior year they mentioned that there were like X amount of pregnant women, girls in our class, which I never bumped into. So, but I had a class
Yeah.
of 700.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot. Well, and what's funny is that like, why is that episode so poorly rated? But then he did Rivalry is the most famous show in the world right now. Like, what's the difference?
oh, we could speculate. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was review bombing.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, that's
maybe,
true. That's true.
I mean, now they're trying to review bomb Starfleet because a certain person doesn't like it in Washington. At
Oh,
least that's
great.
what I've heard. But anyway,
Yep.
any final thoughts on Stranger Things?
I just love it.
Okay. No, I love it. I look forward to whatever they do. I'd like to read the
Same.
books. And I think that'll be it for this episode of Marku 42. We'll catch you later. Catch you next time.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
You've been listening to Mark Who 42. Your hosts, Mark Baumgarten, Vicky Jakubowski, Juan Sanmiguel, and Zion Quiros. If you'd like to leave a comment for us, please email us at markwho42.42@gmail.com. Mark Who 42's Universe is produced and directed by Mark Baumgarten. Copyright 2026.